Why now is the worst time to buy an investment property? On this video, I'm going to share it all. Traditionally, people talk about owning property, all right? They say rent is dead money, all that stuff. And you get frowned upon when you do rent to rent because you don't own the property. And you know what? If I'm honest, I love rent to rent, but the long-term aim is to reinvest into assets you own so that you've got long-term legacy wealth. In other words, you're going to benefit from the capital appreciation over decades of the property, because property on average goes up by double every 10 years. And you don't have to worry about the end of your rent to rent agreement because you own the property. So you're going to get the cash flow forever. But here's the problem. I've got a ton of properties that I rent to rent, and the rent I'm guaranteeing the landlord is fantastic. Why? Because the landlord has no mortgage. They want to be completely hands off, and they are happy for me to guarantee them a rent and to share some of the income with me. So therefore, if they, let's say for example, this is the chart of rent, they're happy to get half of the cash flow, so I can get the other half of the cash flow. That's fine. That's the whole premise of rent to rent. But here's the issue, right? The issue is when I'm looking to buy some of these properties that are 200, 300, 400 grand, the interest rate, even on a interest only mortgage, is significantly higher than what I would guarantee their rent because they have no mortgage. So what that means is, imagine two properties. Property one, I can just make £1,000 a month through investing 5 grand on a few basic cosmetic things on a rent to rent. And that's beautiful. Property number two, if I buy it, I might be 100 grand of investment and I might only make £400 net cash flow. So you got to think to yourself, would you, put it in the comments, would you rather invest 5 grand, not own the house, but earn £1,000 a month, or 100 grand, own the house, but only make £500 a month? Because it's becoming harder to justify investing all that money into owned assets because the prices are too high because the market's inflamed and the interest rates are way too high. So what am I doing? Well, I'm being selective. If I can get the right properties for the right price, and I still can get a decent cash flow, even if it's slightly less than a rent to rent, then I'm happy to buy it knowing I'll keep it for 10, 20, 30 years and we will benefit from that appreciation. However, if all I want to do is generate quick cash flow and I haven't got an infinite amount of money to invest in buying them, then rent to rent is still by far the best option, even for me. And people say to me, Simon, when are you going to stop doing rent to rent? Surely you could just buy now. But the problem is the returns in rent to rent are too good. So do me a favor. If you want to get into property, don't just assume that buying is the best. Do the figures. Look at your personal goals. Look at where you want to be in 5 years and look at the long term and the short term returns that you're after and do what's best, because trust me, owning a property for the sake of owning a property is not always a good thing. Hope you found this useful.